Hello everybody, I'm Chris and welcome to Retro Ratchet. So we've got something very different today. 2006 Subaru Impreza, but this one's not standard. So if you want to find out what 450 pound-foot of torque's like, then stay tuned. Right, so let's do a wee walk around. So on the face of it, it looks like a totally bog standard Hawkeye Impreza. I'm sure these are Hawkeyes. Put in the comments if I got that wrong. The one I had was it was a blob eye, so it was a couple of years younger than this. So it looks pretty stunning. World Rally Blue is best colour to have an Impreza in my opinion. And looks totally anonymous from the back, apart from that big exhaust. Right, we've got standard wheels. Front brakes, ones we mentioned earlier, I mean, you can see there are huge Brembos on there. Floating discs, so they handle the stopping really well. Standard calipers on the back and discs and pads. And we're currently running 2500s, Frodo.
Yeah, Frodo.
Frodo, yeah, Frodo 2500s, which I actually had on the Astra Coupe. Right, there's our under bonnet view. So we've got big turbo, it's just hiding down there under the heat shield. You can't really see that. STI top mount intercooler, Typhoon intake there. Nice shiny forged dump valve and larger downpipe, and then that finishes off all the engine mods. But yeah, definitely looks the part. Right, let's get into this Impreza, see how it drives. Fastest answer to that one. Right, so we'll go through, it's far from standard, it's got loads of mods, most of which I cannot remember. So what have we got? So we've got forged engine, so I guess that'll be pistons.
Yeah, it's fully closed deck.
Right, what's bottom end, standard bottom end or upgraded?
No, I think they upgrade the bottom end as well.
Right, so
I'll get the list for you.
Cool. Turbo, I'm guessing it's not standard turbo.
Hybrid 20G turbo, maxed out at the minute.
Right. And we reckoned 382
and 450 foot-pound of torque.
Alright. Right, we'll have a look what 450 pound-foot of torque in second gear is like. Right, so there we're at 3000 revs. Pretty ballistic. We're lucky we've got four-wheel drive or we wouldn't have been going anywhere. Right, so we've got the upgraded turbo injectors. I guess we've got different injectors.
Standard injectors.
Is it? Standard injector, right?
I think they're 650cc from the
factory.
Right.
So
it's top mounted intercooler, the STI one.
Right.
Upgraded from the standards. Full stainless steel exhaust, Typhoon induction kit, and obviously the remap, along with a few other little bits I'm sure I'll remember when I send over to you.
So gears, it's got a 6-speed, but it wasn't a 6-speed as standard, was it? That's been changed.
No, standard 5-speed, the rare known to go pop, 350 brake horsepower on the dot on the first pull. So it's got a 6-speed STI. Being informed they're good for 1,000.
Oh right, so there we go. So there's plenty of headroom to
yes.
upgrade. I mean, one thing I noticed when I'm driving it, it does seem quite a short throw on the gearbox. So it doesn't have a short shifter on it, but so it's quite a short distance between gears. They are quite low geared by the looks of it. They're in second gear and third. So I think that's maybe what makes the acceleration so manic. And brakes, what have we done with brakes?
It's got a Brembo big brake kit on the front and rotors, and then matching rotors on the back that do stop it very well for quite a light car.
Right, we'll do another second gear. Yeah, so it's absolutely insane. It'd be nice to see what it done on a track actually. I think it would be pretty impressive. But yeah, you just get hit with all that torque mid-range, you know, just catapults it along the road. We do have rev match in there. See if we can demonstrate that. Maybe third gear downwards. That doesn't want to do it.
It's like a throttle blip sometimes. It does it
Yeah.
if you, depends on what revs you're at.
But it's super torquey, this thing. I mean, that's sitting in fourth gear there. You know, 40 to 60, you know, is just manic. I'm well impressed. So probably going to have to add this to the list of cars to add to my fleet at some point in time. As long as my missus doesn't watch this video straight after doing the TVR one.
How's the clutch treating you now?
The clutch is super heavy. So I had an hour long in the TVR with what I thought was a heavy clutch until I got into this one. And what was this clutch again?
It's stage 3 clutch.
Stage 3 clutch.
Good for 700 brake horsepower, so there's plenty of upgrade availability there.
Right, so I'll not be taking it through a town centre anyway, but yeah, believe me, it is, it's really, really heavy, but with this amount of torque, I guess it's probably needed. Pretty impressive. I didn't want to dump the clutch like. Right, so guys, what do we think then? I mean, I'm totally impressed by it, and like I said earlier, it's probably going to have to be something to add to my list at some point. I mean, it is the original kind of Asbo car, isn't it? But this one's fantastic, you know, the way it drives, the way it handles, the way it stops. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself on this test drive, so thanks very much for giving me the opportunity and giving me another headache for how I can find one. But yeah, it just handles those bends, doesn't it? Totally flat.
Not even anywhere near pushing it.
Nah.
If you wanted to push it,
It's very stable, isn't it? What tyres is on it again? What type of tyres?
Michelin Sport 5s in the front, which are 2 days old,
Right.
and Michelin Pallet Sport 4s in the back. Now, I don't like mixing tyres, but Michelin Pallet Sport 4s have been discontinued, so I didn't have a choice. It's the first time I've ever mixed tyres. But I'm sure it won't take as long to wear the rest of the rears out. Get some more 5s on.
Yeah, it's one of these cars, you know, you could just go out, stick a full tank of fuel in and just tear about the countryside in it and not really get bored. But in my view, it's kind of, this is a great balance, this one. It's not too much power, but the torque is right where you need it. It's a really, really well set up all-rounder. And you see how docile this is, driving it sensibly. There's very few cars with this type of power output, I think, that you can just toddle around town, you know, without a whole load of lag. I mean, I found the Astra was really laggy around town, and the clutch didn't help it either, I suppose. And that would have been even worse if I'd put a 19T on that. So what was the issue with the engine that it required a rebuild and forging? Just blow it up?
They've got a problem with ringland failure on stock engines. You're not supposed to go above 350 brake horsepower again, and I got mine up to 370, and that was the end of that engine.
And that was that.
After not even 1,000 miles, I wouldn't have thought. I don't even think it lasted that.
So it wasn't a myth, it is a fact. You can't actually tune them to that on the standard engines.
They're known as chocolate engines on the WRX.
Right.
I think the STIs forged to a point, I do believe. I think you can push them to the mid 450 standard, depending on the engine, I've heard. I think some are more reliable than others. Right. But not on the WRX engines, so I'll get you the build list for you.
We'll add that into the video.
Add it in the video, I'll probably go over it tomorrow. I'll take some photos of it in the arc tonight.
So what are your plans for it? What are you going to do with it moving forward? You going to call it a halt, just enjoy it, or bigger power, more power?
Until today, I was going to go for bigger power, but now I've been a passenger in it. It's opened my eyes. So I've been told by everyone in the know to leave it because I'll just end up with lag.
Yeah.
It'll only be quicker for a certain, you know, on the straights, but it'll actually be slower in real life because it just boosts for fun. This doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
It boosts for fun.
So I think we have a solution then. You don't spend any more money on it and I just drive it for you and you're a passenger and then everyone's happy. So that could work out in everyone's favour.
More than welcome, Chris.